Good afternoon, traders. I think we're live now on YouTube. I hope you can hear me clearly there. All right. Let's go. For those, we'll take time for traders to find that link and join. And for those of you who are in the group here with us now on the Zoom, let's start. So I'm going to go through the majors. I'll show you what trades we took, what trades we're looking at, and then we'll go from there, what trade setups more we have, right? This session is going to be live. This is the New York session we normally have. So we'll get a London session live, a New York session live, and in the morning we have an Asian session live. In between these sessions, we do have live sessions in our trading room. So we'll see how, how many sessions we get per day, sometimes more than 5, sometimes 3, 4, 5, depending on how active the trading day is. Today I was in, this is my 3rd session for the day. Some of our traders were in before me, and they were probably were there during the, between the New York and the London session. So let's go. Dollar index. The question is whether this is going to go down or up. We did get a pullback, an anticipated pullback, because we have a sharp wave here. And every time we get a sharp wave, we expect them to go back. If I'm going to be looking for a buy setup here, this has to start consolidating before you get a buy, because you jump into this trade and it's going to drop. So basically, we have a sell setup. If you're going to be doing anything to this, you're going to be selling it to the bottom here with a stop above the top. Now, if this is what we think it is, a running flat, here's a good example of a running flat. See, if this is a running flat with an entry order here and a stop here, this is your trade, right? This is your trade. That's what a running flat would look like. So with an entry order here and a stop here, if it drops to beyond this point, this becomes your trade, right? That's the trade setup. Now, here is why this is the safest entry you're ever going to put. If this is not a running flat, you don't have to even worry about it. It's never going to trigger. Because if it is going up, for you to buy, you will need a consolidation here. And this consolidation is never going to come here. It's just going to go up from there. So we will cancel this trade and we'll be buying it to go back up. We don't have a buy setup. So if you're jumping into a buy or a sell at the moment, you have a 50% chance you're going to be wrong. And most likely you're going to be wrong because we don't know which direction it's going. Right? So we wait for the setups, you wait for the confirmation of that trade, and then you actually got a good trade. Right? Once again, good afternoon to all the traders in the Zoom, and good afternoon to all the traders in YouTube. I hope you guys help share the link with more traders, and more people should join us eventually. We have an entire week of free sessions coming up, and you might help somebody save their account if you do share this link with them. And I'm not kidding you, that's not a hype. That's actually a fact. If you share this link with somebody, they might be able to save their account. So let's go. I'm going to go through the trades themselves that we were looking for, and then we're going to go through all the majors. So we're looking for a pong buy this morning. It is still valid, a pong buy, right? The pullback, this pullback by itself didn't change anything as yet. On the downside, there was a pullback, there was a pullback, there was a pullback, there was a pullback. On the upside, there were pullbacks. There were always going to be pullback. What we are looking for is this trade to go there. The entry is still here. The stop is still here. That trade is valid. If we get a better entry between this range here, we'll take the trade. If we get a better entry like that, you will say, well, what if it's dropping here? Well, if it's dropping, it's dropping. I don't see the sell setup as yet. If we get a consolidation, then we get a sell setup, which means that this consolidates here, and then we consider a sell to break the low. As of now, it's upside. New Zealand, that actually dropped. If you remember this morning, we moved the entry to there because I said this could go up and come back down. It actually fell. So there is still that possibility for a running flat, which means this could still do this and still come back here and then go. This would eventually go up. So we're looking for the buy setup, which means we're looking for a trade that would be equivalent to this. Not a trade that is equivalent to this. So because there was no sell setup there. What we're looking for is the upside. So if we get a flag on this, if this actually at some point makes a flag, we'll take the trade back to the top. If it just comes very sharp like this, you don't want to jump in the trade because that very sharp move is going to drop. And traders tend to say, well, why don't we buy the low? And my question is always, how do you know that was the low? Right? How do you know this is the low? You could have probably bought it here and then watch it drop 200 pips there. Where would your stop be? The same thing. This going up here doesn't say anything. The next candle can do this and it dropped 200 pips. How do you know where the low is? So we don't know that's a low, but we don't have a sell setup as well. So we're expecting it to go up. The best buy right now would be putting it here. And if we get a flag between this and this, we buy. Now, even if it's coming back for a running flat, I don't think they will get back to this level. I think they're just going to do this and drop and then go. So probably we put it above the last impulse, which would be here. That's the buy setup. The stop has to be here, and we're targeting the upside. How far up? Well, we'll see how far this goes. But basically, we're trying to get it back all the way back to this stop, which is there. So the risk to reward in the trade is a really good one if it goes. If it doesn't go, then your job as a trader is to get out of that trade for positive or get out for the minimum loss you possibly can. We're looking for a buy setup on this. On the yen, we had both ways this morning, which means we think this could go both ways. We just have to get the right setup. We put it as a sell setup because we were looking for a small running flat in here when it was here. It actually went higher. So I think the running flat is kind of out of the range. We will not probably put this as a running flat. If this consolidates here, we will definitely go for a buy to retest the top. If it is going to drop, the sell is still valid, but not as the running flat, but maybe as a deeper correction. And if we get a flag anywhere between here and there, we can get it. Right now, it looks more upside. See this consolidation here, this pullback and this pullback here. If we get this running flat, we can put an entry to here, put a stop under the low and go for that trade, right? This is a common running flat, so we'll go for the running flat if we get it. Let it come a little lower, and then we'll assume that it's making a running flat, and we'll go for that trade. So both sides still possible. Swiss yen, the entry is under the low, but that's not where you want to sell it. And like I said, you're waiting for a confirmation. We don't have a sell setup as yet. We also don't have a buy setup, which means if this is going to go up, it has to consolidate some more, and then we'll consider this one more up and still downside. This is still the correction. And I'm not going with any contracting flat as yet. Right? We're not taking any contracting flat as yet. We'll come to that if we see this consolidation really looks upside. As of now, it can drop, but we don't have a sell setup. See, if you sold this here, good luck to you, right? I hope you got it for break even. Same thing, we can't sell anything here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens at the top here. If it consolidates, we buy. If they actually drop and at some point give us a flag, we'll sell it. We don't have that as yet. So just wait for the setups, because if you're just jumping in because the trade, the candles are moving or the price is moving, then you're going to get yourself in trouble. Canadian, we took a trade. Those of you who just came in and a little before should be in this trade. I showed you before this drop. This is a 15-minute active trade. The 1 hour trade from this morning is actually selling it from here with a stop here. But we had a 15-minute flag here, and I decided we could sell it from there, put a stop above this, use the same one. And by the time it gets to this one, we can even get it to break even. The trade is here. And at this point, it's either going to go back up or it's going to drop through the structure. Right, that's a trade we showed you this morning, and right now it's going good, so we'll see how far that goes. Right, we're looking for this trade either coming back all the way to the bottom here, which is a number of trades you'll get going there, or come just to this level and then go back up there and then come here and go, which would make this a corrective structure. So if we get this trade here, that would be a good trade for today. We can take profit. Let's see how far it goes if it goes. If it doesn't go, our job is to get out of the trade for positive, manage that trade. So far, it's going okay. It's a 15-minute trade, like I said. The entry is a 15-minute entry, and it's going good, so we'll just leave it, and we'll manage it as it goes. What are the trades? These were just setups. We were looking for sell setups. By the way, we got a sell setup here. This is a 15-minute sell setup. You can see the 15 minutes flag there. Right? It's a valid trade. It's pretty much active right now. You can put this. We actually went up back. We didn't get all the way to the top, but you can. There's a good chance we're looking at a bigger expanding flat here, and this just comes break the low, but you can get break even out of that. If you're taking this trade as a 15-minute trade, which means an active trade at this point, putting a stop, don't put a stop here because they're very likely can go back there. You want to keep your stop above this stop, right? And hope that this is the one that is going to drop. So we're going to go with a contracting flat. If it is not a contracting flat, then we're only coming to break this low, which means this is going to come back, break that low, and go back up. That will give you a break-even trade. In the worst case, that would give you a break-even trade. Right? So this is an active sell. If you want that, but this is an aggressive active sell. We don't have any trade here. Euro pound, we don't have any trade. Actually, it went up a little more, so we'll probably even take this off. If you want this trade still, you can put the entry here. It's still active for the downside. We don't have the upside traders yet. And natural gas, right? We don't have the buy setup. We're still waiting. If you wanted the buy setup here from this morning, this would somehow have to make an impulse and a flag, and then we'll go with that. It's coming down slowly. There's nowhere you should sell this at the bottom here. At the bottom of a move like this that is going so slow like this, actually is not a sell setup, because they will tag you and at some point pull back up and then drop. So the best thing to do after this is to wait for this to finish what it's doing, wait for a correction. If you can trade it up, wait for a correction and then wait for the sell. I'll hate the idea of trying to trade at the bottom here, because sometimes they just tag you here and go back up. Most times they will do that. So we don't have any more. Those are active trades that we had from this morning. Right now we're in one active trade. That is the CAD yen. And probably if you took the pound yen, right? That would be two active trades. I like the CAD yen more because the risk to reward is much better, and where the entry point from that trade is way better. So those of you who came in a little early for the London session should get that trade, because it didn't drop this yet. Right? Can everybody put your messages to everybody in the group? Because if you ask for a chart and I'll go to, traders will want to know why. All right, we'll come to the DE40 just now. Let's first do all the majors. So once again, good afternoon. More of you join us, and more people in YouTube as well. I will also take questions in YouTube. So if you have questions, if you're in YouTube only and you have questions, you can post them. If you have questions here, we'll take. So let's go. Dollar index. I'll go through everything again. Like I said, we will treat this as a running flat. The entry order should be here. This is a sell setup if you want. Silver. It came down a little more, but I still, like I said this morning, we don't have anything. We're not buying it above the top, and we don't have any trade in it right now. So we'll just leave it alone for now. Gold also. It did come down a little more. It looks like it's going back up, and that could possibly be one of the things that could happen. If you were in the buy this morning, I hope you managed to exit it there. If you didn't, wait a little more. If we get a flag here, we'll be buying it, and it probably will retest the top. You could make an argument for either an expanding flat here or a running flat here. I'll go with the running flat. With this correction here and this correction here, I'll go with the running flat, which means retesting that top is possible. It's not really a good buy right now, and we don't have the setups, but this could push higher. And we'll go with this running flat. I don't think we're going to go with this one as yet, right? Because this is not that huge. If it comes lower, then we will go. If it comes a little lower like this, then we're going to make the assumption that this running flat is out, and that will be a buy setup for us. So we'll wait on that trade. Euro, nothing. It did come down a little more. It's going up, but it's not going up in a, and the risk to reward, I already explained, is no good. So we just leave that to happen. Let it go to the top. Once it breaks the top, we start looking for the sell. Pound. Still a buy setup. Now it would be much better to actually buy the pound from here if we get it. So what we do is we keep track of the 15 minutes. And if we get an impulse and a flag here, instead of taking the trade there, we'll take the trade from here to the upside. Like we did in the CAD yen. That's a good example of what I'm trying to show you. That's what we did in the CAD yen. We'll do the same thing here. If we don't, you should have your entry order here for that trade. The entry is here. The stop is here. We're going for this one. Aussie. Like I said this morning, we're not buying in here because there's no reason to get in. We don't have a sell setup, although it dropped a little more. This is a consolidation, and I think it's incomplete, which means there's a good chance we're coming back to the top here. We do have this sharp wave. I would hate to believe that this is, some kind of an expanding or so flattening in the middle there. We'll see. It's in consolidation, and you can just leave it once it's in this range, because inside of the range is difficult to trade. You can get on the wrong side pretty quick. So what we want to do is we wanted to get back to the top of the range and then sell it, right? You wanted to break out of this impulse here. Or if we get a flag here for the buy, well, that makes sense, because now you would have to go back to retest the top. So if we get a flag anywhere here in the 15 minutes or the 1 hour, we'll take a flag. Something like this would be a good buy. And I think we did buy this. Some of you remember we did buy this. We closed that trade. The same thing we do here. We'll buy this, and if it goes fast, we get a trade. If it goes slow, we close the trade. New Zealand, it's still an active trade from this point. Of course, we'd like to get it earlier. This is a much better trade in the setup itself, because you've got a really sharp move here. You've got consolidations down, and this move should at least do that and break this stop. So if we can get a flag here, that would be much better. But if we don't get the flag, you put the entry here, you put the stop here, and we're going for this trade. How high can this go? It can go pretty high, much higher than I show you, right? And the bigger picture of things, we could come back all the way to this stop. We're in this expanding pattern, so I wouldn't be surprised if they actually come back all the way to this stop. See? That's a trade we're going for. So let's see if we can get that trade. Even if it doesn't go that far, well, then we'll manage the trade and get out of it. Yen, both sides possible, none right now. The one we should have is the sell setup, the entry for the sell and the stop here, that is still valid. Not the best one, but it's possible as of now. We will change that when we see if we see this consolidation here, which means if we see a we already have 3 or 4 hours there. If we see a consolidation here, we can go for a buy to retest the top. If you buy it, you'll have to put an entry, a stop under the low. I don't like the consolidation right now because it's not so much a flag. You can see this, it's not really a flag. It could be a running flat. This could be a small running flat here. Or this could be a small running flat here, whichever one we want. So if it comes a little more, we can put an entry order above that top. Keep a stop under the low, and let's see when it breaks that top, how far it goes. Now, when you get running flats like this, they don't normally go very far. So if you want to put a buy setup, you have to put an entry here with the stop under the low. And then if this takes off, once it breaks the stop, you take profit. Right? So right now, this could be a 15-minute running flat. I think there's a possibility we can look at this as a 15-minute running flat, come a little more here, and then take off. So that could change the buy. Let's put it to an aggressive buy setup. We can put that to an aggressive buy setup. If it's going to drop, this will come much lower, and then we'll go back with the sell setup. Right? I still don't like this as a running flat, but we will look at it more as see this running flat, how it works perfect. That's the one. The reason we didn't take this running flat is because we are very close to the top. We didn't buy that because we're close to the top. See, this one is not close to the top. So you can buy this here because by the time you get to the top, you actually have a 1-to-1 risk to reward trade. And if it goes higher, good for you. See? CAD actually gone back to the top. It has to come down, right? This has to at some point. See, this one actually went back to the top, but then it came down. This became a corrective structure. Right? This became a correction. You got a sharp one, you got a correction, you got a sharp one. I wasn't expecting this to go back up. I was expecting this to drop like that. But guess what? Now you can go with another correction. This comes here, you get another corrective structure here. It means this goes back up there. It will break the low, of course. Goes back up there and it still comes down. Right? It goes back up all the way to the top and it still comes down. That will still give you this flat. Come back for this one, make that flat, and then go back up. So what we can do is we can ignore this sell because we really don't have a good sell setup. Right? We ignore the sell and let it drop. So if it drops to this level, break the low, we wait for the flag and then we buy it. Can we get a sell from here to go? Well, if we get a flag, we'll trade it. That will give us a risk to reward. If we get a flag on the downside, you want it to stop somewhere here and make a flag like this. We'll sell this flag for the trade to break the low. Put an entry here, put a stop here. If it just drops, then let it drop. Right? Don't try to jump in the trade before. So let's see which one we get. We're going to stay out of this. Right? That was a sell this morning. If you took it, it could give us another sell. This is a really sharp one. So I'm not sure we have any. This wasn't sharp and this wasn't sharp. They were flats. So when you get a sharp one and it's not doing anything, then there's a great chance you do this. See that sharp move up there? They consolidate there, go back up, then drop. See that move there? They consolidate there, they go back up there. So let's say we get consolidation here, go back up, and then we look for the drop. If we get that, we'll trade it. As of now, you can't trade it down. Aussie yen, nothing. We still don't have a trade. It came back all the way to the low, so we'll assume that they're making a bigger correction here. We'll wait for that. Swiss yen, we're looking for a sell setup from the top here. It's kind of pulled back here, but that's just one sharp pullback. See this piece here? This is the new high. It came here, it'd make a sharp move, and we're here. I don't think they're going to drop through this. We can take the risk of that if you want, but this is pretty sharp. The risk is this comes here, tag you here, pull you back to the top, make a flat, and then starts to drop. So we would look for a sell setup if we see that small flat forming there, which means this go back up to the, it's pretty close to this top, which means this is a deep pullback. But because we're at the top of the structure, we will still take that trade. So what I want to see is I want to see this one actually goes back up there, make this flat. Now, if you take the trade here, the chances are they tag you, they pull you back above the top, and then come back here, and then it's an expanding flat for upside. So you might or might not get a chance to exit that for break even in that case. So let's wait for the flat first, and then take the trade. How aggressive we can get in that trade? If you want to take it here, here's the thing. If you want to take it now, put an entry order here, which is a very, very aggressive entry because this is really sharp. But let's say it's going to make a running flat, right? Which means that this is going to drop really sharp, make a flag here, drop again, pull back here for a running flat like this, and then go. You might say, well, I can miss the trade. If you're going to do that, then you have to keep the stop above this stop, not here, but above that top, because that will give you a chance to exit for break even. Let me explain that again. It could tag you here, drag you back to the top there, even break this stop, make an expanding flat in here, probably come back to about this level and then go. You see this pull back here, that would be our exit strategy if we take the trade now. So you have to make sure your stop is here, because this would be a flat here now for upside. And then we will probably go with the contracting flat. As of now, I'm looking for the downside on this. So if you put that aggressive entry order there, for my traders who can do this, put that entry order there. In the general public, just watch how we do it. I wouldn't advise you to ever take any trade. And remember, I'm not making trade call. I'm showing you how we trade in our trading room, right? You have access to our trading room to relax, enjoy the view, enjoy the situation, watch what we do, ask all the questions you want, and have fun, right? You're not here to trade because I cannot make trade calls for you, right? I make trade calls for myself, and my traders who are trained to do it this way take trades. I hope all of you get that message clear, right? That's like the disclaimer. Hey guys, I'm not making trade calls for you. You are taking any trade on your own risk, right? Because again, you would have to understand how we manage these trades. And these sessions are only 1 hour, which means you might not have that information, what to do with the trade afterwards. My trader do know how to manage trades like this, right? They've completed the course and they have access to all the rules. So this is an aggressive trade. We can take it. I understand the pattern. We understand the pattern. We understand the risk in it. That's the most important thing. You understand the patterns and you understand the risk. So you know, and you know by rule how we would manage this using our trade management rules, right? Can you do TA for the B? Yeah, we'll probably look at that. Buy in the 4 hour. We'll look at that once we come to the once we finish this and we get to the cryptos. Right? So let's go. CAD-yen, we're already in this trade. It's going good. I wouldn't put that to break evens yet, but this is a 15-minute trade we took this morning. The valid trade, if you still want the trade, this is the 1 hour entry. The 1 hour entry is there. The stop is exactly where we have it, but we took it on a 15-minute trade here. Again, this is a high-risk trade. I posted this trade in our room. Those who came in a little earlier got it because it just actually moved. So those who came in early in this session, I showed them the trade setup and it was active at that moment, which means it was exactly here. Right? And then we will show you how we manage these trades as we go along. Euro yen, nothing. Pound yen, if you want to take the trade, it's an active trade. It was active also when I gave you. Now this trade is a little more high risk than that one because we didn't break the stop. Unlike the CAD yen and unlike the Swiss yen, we didn't break the top. So that means you're still in the correction. I think this could probably just come here and go right back up there. That would not surprise me. We end up with a bigger flat here and then it dropped. Now, if it drops from here, we will go with a contracting flat. And that is not so rare here. We'll go with a contracting flat. And since all the yen pairs seems to be moving down, this could be one. Now, it's a high risk trade because we didn't break the top. So you'll have to be careful with that. Nothing here. I just went through all of this and nothing here as well. We're still with, actually, we might be getting a trade here. This is the Euro pound. We're getting a 15 minutes consolidation. Let me see in the hourly what it looks like. One candle. So let's give it some time. right? If it stays here two more candle, we'll get a perfect 15-minute flag, and we will go with the trade, right? Pong USD to move up. Yeah, we're looking for Pong USD up. That has not changed. By the way, if you guys should know the color codes, this means we're buying an aggressive buy. Orange means we're taking an aggressive sell. Red means it's a normal sell. Green means it's a normal buy. Now, if you guys would like me to make it simpler for you, go to TradingView and tell them, ask them, all of you can write, and they can do this. This is an easy thing for them. Can you allow us to change the colors in here? Because if they change the colors in there, we'll use dark green for buy. We'll use light green for aggressive buy. We'll use dark red for sell. We'll use light red for aggressive sell. And then it's going to be easier for you guys. Now, because we can't change those colors at the moment, I use the ones they have. So if you go and you ask, there's a place where you can ask for them to allow you to change that color, and they can do that in a split second. I think they've allowed us to do a lot of things. You see this wick here? That was an our request to make it color like the candle, because it was white when we went to TradingView. And they do that. Their team are very good at doing that, and they can allow us to change it, and then it will be easier for you guys to understand. It wouldn't be orange. It would be dark red, dark green, light green, and you would understand it easily. Let's go. Right now, we're using red, orange, and pink. Pink means we are waiting for a setup to sell. And if you see light green, we're waiting for a setup to buy. We would like 3 green colors, 3 red colors, and 1 blue. Blue means both ways are possible. Let's go. So what are we going to do? We don't have to look through all of this right now. We will look through them during the time we are here when we see setup on them. So as for the Pong, somebody's asking, let me go back to the Pong. It is still a buy setup. That has not changed. We don't have a flag here. So the entry order is here. We're targeting the top, and the stop is here, right? So if I have to put this trade on, it would look like this. Entry here. The stop for this trade would be here under this low, and the target is at the top there, right? So it's more like a 1-to-1 risk to reward trade. Yeah, this stop is right here, right? Just at this level, and the target is there. So like I said, it's more of a 1-to-1 risk to reward trade, and then we'll be looking for the sell. Now, if we're lucky, they actually break through the top. I don't think they will, but that's a trade. If we get a flag earlier here, it would be a better trade. Buying it right now, well, I wouldn't advise you to do that. That's jumping in trades, not knowing what it's going to do. But let's see in the 15 if we get a flag. We don't. If we do get a flag here in the 15, we'll take the flag to the upside. All right, so that's a trade. Let's go. Somebody is asking me for BNB. Okay, I'll take a look at that and US 30. Let's look at US 30. I think we have US 30 here first. Yep, you're getting an upside here. You're getting a flag for a buy, so we'll go with it. There's a buy setup. Go with an entry order here now. Don't put the stop under the flag. Put the stop somewhere here, right? You might have to put a smaller lot size, but we're trying to target this stop, and we're targeting the breakout, right? I'm expecting this. It's a nice 1 hour flag. So we're trying to get it to come to this level and break this stop, right? That's a trade from there. Keep the stop under this one. There was a 1 hour flag here as well, right? So keep the stop under this 1 hour flag here, because you see this one how it pulled back there. You don't want this tag. You pull back a little, take you out, and then go. I like it now because it's a good 1 hour flag for upside. So the trade is pretty much valid. That would be the same for NASDAQ. It would be the same for NASDAQ. You're actually breaking out of this one, so you can put the entry above the top. But this one, keep the stop here. Let's see where this is going to go. This one is not the best one, by the way. Probably go with the US 30 because it's the same structure, but this doesn't have a lot to hit the top and turn. You will most likely end up with a break even. This one could go
hello,
quite a lot.
sir. Hello.
Yes. Who's talking there?
Yes, I have just one question. Sorry for interrupt.
Yeah, but we leave the questions to the end.
Okay,
You can type what you want now and then, but go ahead. You're already talking. What's your question?
So the question is about the US 13 and the Dow Jones. You said what? It will go buy or short, from your opinion?
We're looking for a buy. I just said that. We're looking for a buy to the upside.
Okay. But it's not clear yet, yeah?
It is very clear. We already have a flag.
Oh, okay.
So we're buying. We're buying this flag to the upside. You're putting your entry here. We are putting an entry here. We're putting a stop here, and we're going for this next trade there.
Oh,
We
thank you.
bought this one the same way. We put an entry there, we put a stop here, and we went for that trade.
Okay.
The bigger picture
Thank
is up front, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So, and sorry again for interrupting.
No problem. Let's go. So we've got that out of the way. Oil. Somebody's asking for oil. Let's take a look at oil. US oil. Okay, we might get a sell setup here. It's making a small flag. Remember, we didn't take this morning because of the depth of that pullback. But if it makes a small flag here, we can sell this. The second flag is sellable. If it goes, it's only 3 hours. It's probably could spend the next 2-3 hours. You go for that trade. And if this trade is to go, we're going to expect it to come back and retest this low. Right? So this either goes back up now, and we will see whether we want to buy. I don't like the buy idea right now. But if it starts to drop, I like the sell idea. So you can keep an eye on this. It's only 3 hours. You can put it there, but we would like to see more consolidation. Keep it under the low. Keep a stop above the top. You can put a stop here, but better to keep it above the top. So this would be like a sell setup. I'll put an aggressive sell setup, and we'll go with that. Let me see if I missed anything. Oil, we got this. Triple top target. No, we don't really look at this triple top because I think you're talking about the pong on the bigger one. We look at it in terms of pattern, and that is a contracting triangular pattern. It's not going to break the top. It's important you know that, because if you work with triple top, you might go with it breaking the top. D30, yes. DAX, let's go to that. D30, let's go with it. US 30. I think we have the D30 here. Yeah. This is also a buy setup from this morning. Actually, you should be tagged in this trade already. The same thing you're going to do, you're going to put the entry here, you're going to put the, we put the entry there, we put the stop here. We don't put a stop under here because this is way too small. They can go there, tag you, come back and still go. The target is way to the upside. Now, this one has a little risk in it. This one has a little risk because we're not sure that this correction is complete, which means if they tag you there and start to pull back, you have to manage that trade out of it. If it happens while we're here, we'll show you how we manage the trade, right? So the trade is valid, it's tagged, we'll consider this tagged. I'll put it as a buy. And I'll show you how we get out of a trade like that when you're tagged, but it doesn't go. Because I think 90% of you have that problem, where you're tagged in a trade and it doesn't go and you have no idea what you should do. Right? That's how most traders lose, because they have no idea how to manage the trades well once they're in the trade. And I can tell you from my experience, helping traders and doing one-on-one with traders, that's the biggest problem. Right? Now, there are a lot of questions on this group, and there's a lot of questions on that group, and that is where I'm going to get lost now. So Aussie, New Zealand, we'll come to that later. I already took that one out, so we'll come to it. By the way, you guys vote for it, right? From the thing. Vic, did I miss a lot from YouTube?
No, much is coming in now, actually. You got this.
Okay. So probably you copy those questions or draw my attention to them when they come. So let's go. We can go to, I'll do the Aussie. Go ahead.
Did you do the Nasdaq and gold big picture? Because that one was asked.
Oh, big picture, we'll come to that then. Let me look at Aussie, New Zealand.
Okay.
So most of these crosses we remove because you guys vote for them, and we decided Aussie New Zealand is making a big correction here. Let me just show you this very quick, right? Now, if we get this flag here, if you get this flag and you're getting a flag there, we will go for this to retest the top, going with this as a running flat, one more top and then downside, right? The big picture is downside, we know that. So we come back to the 1 hour and we look at this, and it seems like they're making a flat here. So I would say wait for this to go back down, make a running flat. See this flag in the middle there, let it come back down here. Wait for this, put an entry above the top and wait for that trade. If it goes back up, congratulations, it is going to go break the top. If it doesn't go back up, remember the big picture is downside. If it doesn't go back up, you wouldn't be tagged on the trade, right? So this is coming down. Once it gets here, we can actually put that trade on active, put it there. If it doesn't go back up, it will consolidate here. And then you'll sell it. You'll literally take the sell from there, right? So yes, we got that. So let's go. What else? Let's go. BTC, Bitcoin. Let's Bitcoin, and somebody wanted some long-term. We can do the long-term ones afterwards. First, let's focus on trades, active trades, right? So everybody, if anything, remind me of active trades that you want, and we will look at those, because remember, we're trading, right? We deal with the active trades first. Second comes trade setup, which means if there's an active trade setup, just tell me trade setup, I'll go look at that immediately. And then comes analysis, which means that you will get your analysis, but it stays at the back. So we go with that order, right? Anybody write active trade or trade setup, we'll deal with that first. So that we don't miss the trades, right? We're here to trade. We don't want to miss the trades. So keep me posted on that, right? Let's go. This would be an active trade. I'll put this as an active trade right now because we're looking at this as a possible running flat. It might come a little more down. So if you're going to put this trade, it's an active trade. Put this stop above there. I'll use this as the stop. Don't go lower. Use this as the stop. Right? And that trade should be come here and then go back up. So we'll put it as an active buy and we'll see where that goes. Right, that is on. We've got it. What else? So let's go. What else? Tell me what else you're looking at, everybody. Let's go. Bitcoin. We wanted Bitcoin. So let's go. Bitcoin is at the top here. So Bitcoin is in this consolidation. Last time we did it, for those of you who were in the room, this is going to break to the top. It did. Exit the trade by rule. It's consolidating here again, so there's a good chance that they might break the top again. You're going to get this, and then that is downside. So big picture now, if it stays like this, it's downside. One more downside. Now, remember, we're not calling the downside to retest the lowest yet. Well, we're not calling this coming back to retest the lowest yet until we break the last impulse. So when we break through the last impulse, if we break through this impulse and we don't go back up, we'll go with that. Right? Any consolidation under here will be coming to retest the low totally. And that is possible. I think all of you know that's possible. So we'll come to that later. Right now, you could get one more sell. I don't think it's ready to drop. I believe we're consolidating for a little more up. Right, this is consolidating in this range here. It's consolidating here. So there's a good chance it could probably do one more of this up, one more of that spike up. You'll still be within the consolidation. Pretty much like the previous one. Right, like this one. See, they did this, go, retest the top, and then drop. So we can pretty much, I don't know how high this is going to go, but we'll track it and we'll see. Euro yen. I don't think we have any.
Anil,
yes.
While you're still on the Bitcoin one, someone is asking for if you could look at the daily of that one.
The daily is still correcting. So the daily structure is this. This is the absolute low from this down move that is coming. Right? This is the lowest point in the down move that started. The bigger structure is this, and I can give you really quick. This is the bigger structure. See this? So this was like the first small correction, another correction, and then you went up. This was a really sharp drop. So we can make an argument whether this is making an expanding flat here. In which case, this would eventually go back, retest the top. Now, if we don't look at it that way, then the chances are, well, this has some kind of a consolidation in here, and we'll check with this one to see whether we look at this as an expanding flat. This is the top of the structure, and this one coming down here is part of the correction. And what do I mean by part of the correction? Which means this could get very, very corrective going back up here, retest the low, and then go. So what we'll have to do is track this structure, how it goes up. Now, the only question you would ask now, well, is it started the upside? And that's what we're looking at right now. This piece here will tell us whether we start the upside. Because if this starts to go back up, yes. If it comes back down beyond the impulse, that impulse, we're likely going to retest the low and then start the upside. It's going to go back up once more. Now, how fast they're going to go back up? This could literally work its way down like this. And then start to go back up. I explained that concept this morning. And if you're a fanatic person about this thing about cryptos, you should know one thing. It's a manipulated instrument, which means the instrument is highly manipulated. So if I am one of the, just think of it, if you're one of the person who would like to make billions of dollars on Bitcoin, For you to make billions, you have to make sure that at this level here, you accumulate enough so that when you get to the top there, you can make billions because you're investing billions into it. And you're not going to invest billions if you're not going to make billions. To make billions, you want it to come above this top. But to make sure that it goes there and you actually have billions, you have to make sure you have enough of the coins here. You know how much exists, you know how much you have. So you know how long you have to keep it within this low here, within this low range, to scare the heck out of everybody of selling it back. Now, that might be 2 years. That might be 5 years. Not everybody has a holding power of holding this for 5 years. Some people will still hold on to it, but some people will sell off. A lot of people will sell off because, hey, Bitcoin is going to go. Every time you get a spike like this, let's say you bought Bitcoin, I don't know, somewhere here or somewhere here. And every time you get a spike like that and you think it's going to drop, you might have the feeling to say, well, hey, I've been holding this thing for years. Time to dump it. Let me dump it. So you dump it, they buy it back. They bring it back up here. Again, they dump it. They drag it back. You got scared, you sell. And if this goes on for a couple of years, you'll probably dump all your Bitcoin. Or you will not be buying it. Nobody is buying it. So they will use the chance to buy up and accumulate as much as they possibly can. And when they have enough of that, they're going to bring it to the top here. This is where you start buying. This is where the mass starts to buy this at this level. And that is them selling it back to you at this level like this. You would start to see the top looks like this. See this top here? See what it looks like with all that pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. That is them selling to you. And you believing it's going to go to 200,000. As the guy here at this level here, when we broke that top. When I said to everyone, go back and watch that webinar, I said, we broke the top. You want to get rid of your Bitcoin. You want to move your stops really tight because it's going to drop. To which one guy wrote, this guy's an idiot. Don't listen to him. He has no idea what he's talking about. I just sold my house and bought Bitcoin. And I'm like, congratulations to you now. I don't know if he still has the Bitcoin or he's without a pants right now walking around. He might be in the webinar listening to me, but he's going to stay quiet because he has no voice anymore. His voice will come back when Bitcoin gets to this level, if it ever gets back to that level for him. Right? That is the importance of understanding wave analysis, is that you know the point from where it could turn and you're more caution in it, right? So is the accumulation finished? I don't think so. Look at the last accumulation, what it looked like. This was the first accumulation. If you want to go through, you can understand the whole instrument. This was the first accumulation phase. Before you get that, right? That was the first one. And then you got the second accumulation phase. When it starts from here, coming back to this level. I would put it at this level, but you can actually put it to this level. All of this is accumulation before you get this, right? So look at the two previous accumulation phase and tell me whether you think at this point it's going to go back up. Immediately you're thinking, no. This thing is going to probably stay here for a very long time. It could go a little higher, but it's going to stay here for a very long time before it actually does that. Could that be sell for all instruments? Not exactly. No, I wouldn't go do that for all instruments, especially for, if you look at currencies don't have that accumulation phase that way because currency stays in circulation. And that is why when you trade currencies, you can look at currencies in terms of supply and demand. I think one person was showing supply and demand in currency. I'm like, dude, that doesn't exist. You ever see that game where you play in the streets where you bet and the guy is betting against you and you bet, then the more you bet, the more he bet against you using your own money that you bet. That's actually how it works. Currencies goes in circulation. So there is no limit to supply of currencies, put it that way. You don't walk in the bank and say, I want to convert $1 billion and they tell you we don't have it. They will tell you, just give us 5 minutes. Because they will go to another bank and borrow. That's the circulation of currency. So there's no supply and demand in currencies, which means there's no accumulation phase in that sense, that way. Of course, banks do accumulate one or the other currencies. They have their how much they're going to keep as reserves. We know that. That reserves change regularly, depending on their long-term views of everything, right? But it's slightly different from this. This one is highly manipulated. This one is based on manipulation. The only value of this is that more people are willing to buy into it. That's the value. That is how it gains value, because more people are willing to buy it. It doesn't have any other value beside that. There is no other. Gold has other value, right? Currencies have other value. Cryptos don't have other value beside the fact that if a lot of people decide to buy into it, the value goes up. If a lot of people decide to sell it, the value goes down. Right? That's all there is to it. So it's a manipulated instrument. Very simple. See the difference? I hope you guys see the difference. Okay, let's go. Too much into that, right? Too much of the class part of it, the educational part. Let's go back to trading. So long term, I would say, keep an open mind for long term, up and down. Don't keep an open mind that it's going to take off. Will it ever be a stored of value Bitcoin? No, not until governments get involved. It would not have any other value beside the value of people's involvement willing to buy into it until the governments and the banks get officially involved in any kind of cryptocurrencies, regardless whether they create their own one or whether there is no other value to it. Right? Once you understand the rules, once you understand what you're trading, what it is and how it's going to work, it doesn't matter. You can trade anything, right? People trade anything and everything. So let's go. Aussie New Zealand 1 hour does the expanding. Yeah, it's still valid. The one I just put on is still valid. Yeah. So that one is still valid, Vic. Right? Okay, let's go. What else we're looking at? What are the trades? Can everybody type now? Let me see. What about CBD? You want me to look at that, or you're asking a question about what about it? I have no idea what you're asking about. CB, right? CB what? Yes, this is. Oops, nothing here. Not sure what that is about. Oh, you mean the central bank digital currencies? Well, if they're putting it out to the public and they're supporting it, it will have value. But if they're using it within the banks alone, then it's only for bank transactions. There are a lot of things that interbank transaction can use, which has nothing to do with us, right? So if the banks are putting out their digital currencies for sale, it has to be supported by laws and by the government. It will have a different value beside the value of us participating in it. Because whether or not we participate in it, it's going to have a value. It's like currencies. Whether or not you hold the currencies or not, the currency has a value. And that's the government part of it, right? The government can dictate the value of its currency. It can put its currency in a freelance. I live in Dubai. The value of the currency is dictated by the government, which means they're actually holding that value at a certain point, and it doesn't go up or down very much. Why? Because they can support it. They can support that value of it to the US dollar, right? In some places, the currency is in free trading. So if I give my money to the government, he will give me in return whatever I want for that money, right? You can't just take Bitcoin and go in. You can't buy a house in Dubai with Bitcoin, right? You can't buy an apartment in Dubai with Bitcoin. I can buy it with the local currencies or with any other currencies for that matter of fact. If you understand, that's the difference I'm saying, is that right now, those cryptocurrencies do not have any other value. You might be able to buy coffee, but that's more of a hype than reality. Okay, let's move on. We're stuck with that. Let's get into trading. Euro yen. Euro yen had nothing. We checked it already. I'm going to check it again. Euro yen has nothing. Nothing as of now. We don't have a trade set up on it. There was a 1 hour flag forming. Sorry. There's a 1 hour setup forming here, but I think this is going to go up more. It's going up really slow. So what I expect is that this is going to go up back to the top here. And then we will look at a 1, 2, 3, come back here, and then we will probably get a trade. This will not give you a good trade. It's kind of useless. It doesn't make sense, right? Okay, let's go back to trading. I'll go back to the trades we are actually in. Since I'm here, Cadian, we're in this trade. This is the trade we're in. It's still valid. It's going really slow. And right now, there's no reason to do anything to it. We'll just wait. There's a lot of pullback. Everything pull back, right? This pull back a lot before it gets to the top. So let's see how fast this is going to drop. We'll decide when to close it. We're not closing that as yet. See, this is the lowest candle, so there's no reason to close it. For the Pong Yen, if you're in the Pong Yen, the same thing. This is the second hour, the Pong Yen, if you're in it, right? This is kind of the first hour, so it's still valid. We'll keep it for now. If you're in any of those two currencies, those are the two we're in right now, right? We're looking at the possibility of the Pong going up. So you may say Pong is going up. Why would we buy the Pong Yen? Well, the Yen could drop, and the Yen is going down, so we'll wait. Yen is a valid the buy take off the buy because the running flat we were looking at is no longer. I don't think this is a running flat. Pretty much looks like they're going to drop, right? So I would probably, both of these are possible. Both of these trades are still possible depending on how the pattern is going to be. But for the sell, I would rather wait for a flag. If this is going to become a sell, we'd rather get a flag here for the sell. For the upside, they can just take off. So if this is the takeoff, most of the yen trades we'll have to get out of. Remember, if yen is going to go up and it's a dollar movement, the major currencies are going to go the opposite direction. So the CAD is probably going to take off too. And if CAD is taking off and yen is taking off, the CAD yen will give us enough time to exit the trade for positive, right? Those are the trades we're looking at. Let's go back to trading. What are the trades you guys want me to take? Let's just type trades that you want me to look at with setups or trades that you're in. We'll come back at the end of this session. We'll do all the analysis you guys want me to do. So Euro yen has a Euro Swiss 1 hour sell. Let's look at that. I think we closed the Euro Swiss also. We'll have to open all the Swiss pairs we closed. Let's see if we have the 1 hour sell. Yeah, we actually have a 1 hour sell set up. We're coming back to the lows. Remember, we said this one is going to come back to this level before it goes. So you do have a 1 hour sell setup forming here. You can use an entry under the low. You may have to use a stop above this one, right? I'll probably put a stop above the top. Go for a 1-to-1, double your risk, go for a 1-to-1. Risk to reward. Because if you use a small stop, you can be tagged. There's a good chance this will get bigger. And that trade will be a valid trade tomorrow. Right? So you might not be tagged in this trade today. There's a good chance it's going to go up higher. And then you're going to get this trade here tomorrow. And then this, don't miss this trade. Let's hope we get this trade this week. Right? Because remember, those of you who are following me, right? That was what we said. This could be 1, 2, 3. Come back to the bottom here like this and then go up. Right? So those of you in the installment program, you would know that. From YouTube, FTM, USDT, let's see. BNB 4 hour and platinum 4 hour. Okay, let's go look at those. We don't have any other trade. Those are trade setups they're looking at, right? So let's go to that. FT. USDT, right? Let's see this. Come on. Oh, it's here. Okay, so it did break the low. You can start to look for the running flat to the upside. We're going to be looking for this move up. So at some point, this is going to give you this move up here and then go back down. This is going to be some kind of a running flat here because we broke the low. So let's see if we have a buy setup. Actually, you can make an argument for a buy setup here. You see, this one went up. It didn't make any flag, right? Or it didn't break out. If you were thinking of this as a flag, right? That didn't break out. It come lower. So you take off the trade. This went up. You didn't get a flag. This one is giving you something like this. The depth of this is pretty deep. So I'll be very cautious. Right? The depth of this pullback is way too deep. I would say let it go and make another flag and then take the trade. Because if you take this one, you're going to end up with a flat. If you buy here, you're going to be tagged and then watch it drop again. Right? And then it's going to go up. It will eventually go up, but let it drop some more. Or wait for this to break out. Let this literally go back up one more, break the top there, and then give you a flag here, and that becomes your trade. Because it will do that. So we don't have a trade set up right now, and selling it here is not a good idea, even if you get the sell set up. I think we have BNB on. Our traders voted for the BNB to stay on. Let's see. Yeah, BNB USD was there. It's downside from this morning. All right, this is downside. Again, this one should go up here one more. See that? Very similar pattern. That will go up one more, but we need to wait for it. We need to wait for this to finish, and then we'll look for this trade up, make a flat, come back down. So wait for the impulse, wait for a flag like this, and then we're going to take that trade up. If you see that while I'm not here, that is how you're going to trade it. Wait for the impulse. It's actually looked like we broke the low already, so the impulse could come anytime. This could make a sharp move here, make a flag, and then you go with this trade for the top. Once you get to this level here, you take that trade off, and look for the sell setup.
Could you look for him at the 4 hour? What you post the request?
The 4 hours is the same thing. It wouldn't change anything. Okay.
But okay.
It didn't change anything in terms of this pattern here, which means this goes back up there, and then it could come back here. Now, the question is whether it's going to come and break the low. Well, once it starts to go down, we'll see that. We'll see if it goes break the low. Right. And the bigger picture of things, if you want the daily, this is your daily structure, right? So you had this one up, down, you have that up, you have this down. And we're kind of going sideways here. This should have broken the low. It didn't break the low. So if they go there and they come back and they break the low, that would make sense, right? Because we broke the low here, right? But we're not going up as an impulse. So if you stay in this range here, then the chances are you come back, you break the low, and then go up. So I would say take this one piece at a time. If this is trying to go up, it structurally doesn't make sense. Structurally, it doesn't support an up move as yet. It actually supports retesting the low and then go, because this is a really big flat. We came here, we pull back, you can pull back in the flat, but then you will drop here. So there's a short-term buy here, go back to that top, come back here, and then go. See, we'll wait for that. You can take it one piece at a time. What else we have? Platinum, right? XPT. I think that is it. We had it somewhere.
Yeah, we had platinum and platinum 4 hour and Gala also.
XPT for platinum, right? Or XPD. Oh no, XPT platinum, we have it here. I want the one with more charts on it. This doesn't have a lot of charts. Let's see. Let's see IDC. IDC normally get a lot of charts on it. Yep, this is the one you're looking for. We can make an argument for the running flat. I think the last time we were looking for was this running flat. And I think we can make an argument for that it's over, and this one might be coming down here. Right? You can make an argument that that is over and it's coming down. So if you get sell setups here, you can take that trade down. Let's see if it's going to be sell setup on the daily. Yeah, at least first you come down. Here's what you can do. You take this trade here first down, wait for this to happen, come break this low again. Go for this trade. If you're lucky, we break this low. If you're not so lucky, then this is what is going to happen. This is going to make a flat here, retest the top, and then come down. All right, so go for this trade here first if you get it, and then when you break the low, get it in the positive and see if it goes back up. If you go back up, take any buy you get. All right, I don't think they'll retest the low, but if they do retest the low, if they retest the top, if they do retest the top, this will be a three-wave structure. 1, 2, 3. It will still be a running flat, but more of a three-wave structure before you come down. And we do have running flats where one of them is a three-wave structure. But first come down here. So your first trade is looking for the downside. All right, go for the sell setup. Wait on the 1 over here for a good sell setup. You had a lot of small sell setup here, so you'll have to wait for this to finish what it's doing, and then it's more of a 4 over, and then go for it. This is going up slowly, but you have this sharp wave. So there's a good chance it's probably just do this and then you get a drop, because the daily structure is downside. I hope that helps. Okay, let's see. Swiss possible running
Gala?
Sorry, which one?
We had the Gala also, Gala USDT.
Oh, let's see that one. USD or USDT, right? So we look at this really fast. Let me go. Don't forget for trades, right? If they're active trades, let's go back to the trading. This is upside. Somebody had given me this already. This thing is trying to go back up. You're getting a very nice flat there. This could be a very big move to the upside, by the way. Let's see where it is. Yeah, look for buy setups when it breaks out. It hasn't broke out as yet. Right? So you actually had a trade set up here, I think. See, there's a 1 hour trade set up there for this move up. Somebody had asked me about this before because I can see that I have it set up already. Yeah, you had a running flat here. So if you were trading this, you're supposed to be in the buy already. Anybody in the buy of this? And actually, you can keep it until it gets to the stop and then put the positive. Good one, right? Okay, let's go. What else we're looking at? I think we have that one on. Sol USDT. This is still downside. This is not changes yet. The depth of this pullback, there's a pullback here. It's pretty deep. It's going to go up, but I'm not sure it's going to go very far because I think, especially if it comes lower, it's going to go back up, drop again one more, and then we're looking for a buy setup. All right, this will, if you look at a bigger structure of this, you're kind of consolidating at the top. All right, see that? You're kind of consolidating here for upside. This was the low. You made a sharp move here, and you're kind of consolidating here. So this piece, look for a buy setup back to the top. Now it could come back here and then go. That's possible, but if this takes off, good for you. So this is a very nice impulse, and that means this consolidation will go more. Hope that helps. We can actually track it for you. We'll track it. We do this on our daily webinar as well. This is a deep pullback, so I don't think it's going to go from here. But you can look for a buy setup. Bigger picture NASDAQ and gold. We'll come to that. Let's first go through all the trades. What trades we are looking at? So I'm going to go through back all the majors, go through back the trades. Remember, we're here to trade, so we don't want to miss the trades themselves, right? Let's go. Silver. No trades as yet. We don't have any trades in the silvers yet. Right? We're not selling it, and we don't have a buy setup. Gold. We don't have a trade as yet. Let's see. Yeah, this could be a trade. It's not going up as yet, so just keep your entry where it is. And if anything changes, we're going to come to it. We're not buying this here because structurally, let it break this top and then we'll sell. Aussie, we don't have anything. Aussie actually came very low, but it's a consolidation, so there is no point trying to buy it here because we don't know what it's doing in that range. New Zealand, the buy entry is here. It's valid. We'll keep it for now. Yen, you can go with both sides. I'll put this as blue. Both sides are possible. Still wait for the trade setup on the buy or the trade setup on the sell. CAD, nothing. Swiss, let's see what the Swiss is doing here in the 15. No, nothing. Leave it. Let's see if we consolidate here or if we can come back and retest the low. All right, we don't have anything there. Swiss yen. This is an aggressive trade for my traders if you want it. I think we will stay here for a while. I actually think they're going to do this, go back up there. I want them to go back up without breaking this low. And then we can go see if they drop through the bottom. If it comes, if we, it's pretty high, right? But remember, we're the top. So although it's high, we're the top. It's still a valid trade. If it's going to drop through the bottom, put your entry. Now keep your stop above this top, right? Keep your stop above that top. You can take this out. We wouldn't be selling it from here. We'll try to get a sell within this range if you don't get that one. CAD-yen, we were in this trade already. It's going. So this trade is valid for the break of this low and coming back all the way to the bottom. On the 1 hour, it's pretty good. There's no reason to do anything. It's moving really nice. So we'll stay with that. Peng Yen, if you're in the Peng Yen also, this is an active trade. Peng Yen, you'll have to be a little more careful because as soon as it breaks this low, you'll have to get it to break even. Right, so as soon as the Peng Yen breaks this low here, make sure you put it to break even because there's no guarantee that it doesn't go back to the top there. Right now, the trade is not only this, the trade is if it drops. But if you want to move a stop and take some profit, that would be okay. Nothing's wrong with that, right? Let's go. What else we're looking at? These are trades that are not, we're looking for setups. They're not there as yet. This one, it's going back. Even if it breaks the top, we're not looking for a buy. We're waiting for a sell. Euro Peng. It's going up. I'm not sure we like the buy setup unless I get a flag. Not this flat, but the flag. So we'll stick with the sell for now. Which means if this drops to the bottom, I want the trade. If it's going up, I need a flat. I need a consolidation to buy it. Oil. It's an aggressive sell. You can put it on. If it's going up higher, you'll have to buy above the top. I will have to buy above the top. But with this pattern in play, 1, 2, 3, I wouldn't be surprised if they drop. So keep the entry order for the sell. The stop for this trade should be here. If this goes anywhere higher like this, take off the trade. If it comes back to this level, take off the trade. It is only valid if it stays here and drop. Right, then it's valid. And DAX. These are trades we're in. You're in the buy. You should be tagged in this one already. within the next 3 hours, we'll know what to do with it. As of now, it's still valid. So if it doesn't go within the next 3 hours, close it. Now, those who are absolutely new to the room would not know the rules for that. So don't take trades with us as yet, because you will not know the rules of engagement. As you stay here, by the end of the week, you'll understand more or less what we do and how we do it. So let's go. What other trade setups? Now I've gone through the trades we're in. Now I can look at trade setups. If there's any setups you guys see that you think is urgent, let's look at those and then we'll do analysis. Right? Fair deal? I think so, right? Wave USDT. I can see somebody asked for that, and I think you can start typing. If you typed it before, type now so I don't miss it. You guys really trade a lot of cryptos. It doesn't wave USDT. It has a USDT with a P. It doesn't have, oh, this one has a USDT. So we're gonna go with that. Oh, I have it here actually. Nothing, this is useless. Let me see this. Okay, this one, I think this is what you want, right? All the cryptos are somewhere trying to go, so, you know, like a low point trying to go up. I don't have enough charts here, so I'm not sure what's the best one we can get here. Let's use this. Yeah, sorry. Oh, this has to go up. This will give you a move to the upside. Let's see if this is the move. So when we were at the bottom here, traders were supposed to buy it. We were expecting this to go up. It's consolidating here and kind of pulling back. So do I think it's going to go down? Let's go to the 4 hours. Right now it's downside on the 4 hours even. This is going to go down. It's coming back here, making a flat and then one more. So if I'm looking for a short-term trade, it's more of a sell. We don't have a buy setup as yet. So this sharp move might not happen now, which means we might retest the low and then make a sharp move. Right? It could be that this would retest the low and then give you that sharp move. But that sharp move is coming because remember you had one consolidation here. If you get another consolidation here, they can drop and then do that. Once it breaks the low, we'll buy. If you're with us when that happened, which means if this free week is over and you join our installment program, which is very, very, very cheap, it's free. The installment programs mean you're going to get these same 2 live sessions free, but you're paying for the course. So you can pay for the course $100 a month. You can pay it $200 a month. You can pay it $500, however much you want to pay. And then you will get access to the group once you complete the payment. Now, there are traders who paid $100 a month, started the course 1.5 years, and they're already in the group. The minute we started the installment program, some traders only pay $100 a month, and they have managed to complete it with having and still get all of this for free for 1.5 years, and then now they're in the course and they're getting everything for free. So if you had started it then with them, you would be in the group as well. Better to start now. It's never too late, right? Some traders paid out like in 500, some traders pay 100, and then just pay out the rest and they're in the group, depending how they make money, right? So let's go. What else we're looking at? What other trade setup? UK 100. Let's see if we can do that. Remember, we can manage to do in one session everything everybody asks for, right? So we're going to go with the ones we have here, and then if we have to add anything, we will add it. So if it doesn't add today, we'll add tomorrow for you. And New Zealand Swiss. I think we have that. Let's look at that first. New Zealand Swiss. Short-term downside. It's a sell setup actually. Go on the 1 hour and wait for a flag to sell. So come in the 1 hour, wait for a flag here and then sell it. Let it make a flag here. And if we get a flag here, we'll sell this flag. Right? So you need a flag because remember, this is coming down from top. This was a trade, so wait for the flag to sell. Short-term downside. Let's see what else we're looking for. Okay, UK 100, which is above, so I'll go with the UK 100 first. And this is a nice one, by the way. All of you should be happy we do this because this is a good sell setup forming here in the 1 hour. Let's see in the 4 hour where we are in the bigger structure. And let's see the daily. That's a good sell setup. Actually, it's a very, very good sell setup. We have divergence in play. You're at the top and you have a perfect 1 hour sell setup. Good trade. If you can trade this, this is a very good trade. Now, short term, you see they make a flag here and they go up. They're making a flat here. They can go back up 1 more to this level. We'll put an entry order here for the sell. Right now, you put the entry order here for the sell. So the entry order goes here now. And if it goes up 1 more, then we move the entry order. Not interested in the buy. If it goes up 1 more, break this stop, we put the entry order here for the sell. If this is going up, the upside is not such a good buy. You don't have a good setup to buy right now, but you have a good setup to sell, because if this drops, you're going to be looking for a move down like this. And then possibly even much lower. So the sell setup is a good one. I do think it's going to go up 1 more. There's a very good chance this one is going to go up 1 more here, make this flat, and then drop. If this is going to go up totally, you will have to wait for a flag here to buy, which we don't have right now. So I actually like that one. Okay, let's see. Cadian is going good. Let's go. This is we got 2 trades today, and both are going very well. So Cadian is going good. Let's see how far it goes. This will take a couple more hours to go. And the Peng Yen. Peng Yen might be one that you might have to close earlier because it's going really slow. If Peng drops, then that will be good. Peng is coming down back, which might help. Right? This is coming down back if this stays here. If Peng drops through the bottom, we don't have a sell. Right? We'll just let it drop. Peng Yen will be the trade. So, okay, what else? Swiss yen broke the low. Let's see. Okay, good. This will be the next trade we're in. Yep, we're tagged in this trade, but this is we're tagged in this trade. This is an aggressive trade. And by all means, I told you, you have to be careful because we are aware that this could go back up there. Right? We are very much aware of the fact that it could go back up there, make a flat. And if it makes that flat, when it comes down, it has to drop to the bottom. If it doesn't drop to the bottom, all my traders know exactly when and where they're going to exit that trade. When, where, and how they're going to exit that trade. If you don't know the rules for that, don't involve with this trade with us. This is a very aggressive trade, and we understand why we are trading it, right? That's the most important part. We understand the whole setup on the bigger picture. And if you're putting an entry here, let me just put it for you, like, so you understand what we're trying to do. Short. We're shorting it here. The stop is here. But a trade we're looking for, actually, the first part of this trade will be coming down to this level here and then go back. And the second part of it is actually coming all the way down to the bottom. And now I'm not going to draw it to the bottom because I don't think it's going to go in one single drop. But we'll be looking for a trade that is breaking out of this structure. So I'm going to leave it like that to show you. We're looking for something like this at least that should go down. So let me put this. This would be the first trade we're looking for. And then we'll see how far it goes from there. See? I actually pull it to exactly the spot I wanted. So that's like the first trade we're looking for if it is making a flat pattern to go back up. But if it is not making a flat pattern to go back up, then we actually believe this trade is going to come all the way to the bottom here. So I hope you understand what we are trying to do. And you're going to be here for a week, right? So you will see how we do it as well. Let's go. What are the trade setups? Tell me. Anything else that I missed on the trades themselves? Okay, somebody wanted analysis. Let's go with analysis now while we're waiting. Go ahead. What analysis? What was the analysis? Somebody wanted daily on which one? Which two?
That was Nasdaq and gold.
Nasdaq and gold. Let's go gold. We'll do gold. Gold analysis is interesting to everybody. So big picture, you want the big picture, the daily. This is the daily structure. We're in a sideways movement. Literally, we're in a sideways movement here. Gold will retest the top. It absolutely will retest that top. The question is when. So this is a sharp pullback. See that? This thing could take about a couple months more in here, come back like this, and then go. Here is an example of what that looks like. See this one here? Here's another example of what it looks like. See this one here? So it could be much more complex than that. So I think we're coming back to retest the top. The question is how. Now, since we are short term, we go inside of this and trade that back to the upside. See? If you're long term and you're an investment trader, you can actually buy now and wait for a couple months until it gets back to the top. Once it starts to drop, you sell off, wait for it to come back to this low, and then buy back. Depending on how you trade. I don't know how you trade, right? So we're looking for short-term trades right now on this. That's a long-term. That's a quick long-term. NASDAQ, I think NASDAQ, you said you want the long-term in NASDAQ. Let's see. So this is the up trade in NASDAQ, right? That is the upside. And you're getting a really, really deep pullback here. Now, if you look at the bigger picture of things, I think this pullback is equivalent to the one we had here, which I don't have here on this chart. Let me see. That's the only chart we have, by the way. Looks like the only chart we have. So there is a big correction here. No, we had another chart with this. Okay. I don't know where it is, but there's a huge correction here, right? There's a huge correction here, right? And I think we're making one of that huge correction here. So the only question you should have is whether this is all. Now, if you go on the monthly, I don't think that is all, which means I think this is trying to go up back here. It may or may not break that top, but there's a good chance that it's going to come back here before it goes. There's a very good chance for that. So what we're doing right now is consolidating at the top here. Go back to the daily. See, there's a daily consolidation going on here, which means that this is going to go up. And that is what we're trying to buy now. I don't think this is the one that will break out. And there's a reason for that as well. I really don't think, I think this move here will be equivalent to this move here, right? And then they're going to come back here before they go. So although this is a consolidation, right, it don't necessarily have to mean that this is going to break out. But you can take the trade and you'll have to manage the trade if it doesn't go. So let's say you got tagged in this one. You don't really have to worry. First, your stop is here. That's where your risk is, where if it goes there, you're willing to accept that loss. And just give this some time to see how much pullback they had in it. And wait for this to see if it does that. And then you put it to break even. If it stays here, if you're tagged and it stays here, close the trade for a couple hours, basically. See? That's how wave analysis works. You understand what pattern it is going to create, and then you have your strategy, how you're going to trade each pattern individually. What else? Any other thing big that I missed? Big picture, short picture?
Yeah, we have CHSB USD.
Trader still in the room?
Clippy still here?
CHSB. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one. Let's see. Okay, this looks pretty useless. Why would you want to trade this when there's so many other things to trade? This is useless. It's going to drop more. I can tell you downside, but it's useless. Why trade it? See this? This is probably going to stay here for a while, but then it has to drop beyond this low. But it's not tradable. Why trade what is not tradable? Focus on things that are moving, that are tradable. This thing is in this range for how many days now? And I don't think you can trade it effectively in that range. So probably just trade, they're like a million cryptos, right? I think so. Trade the top 10, the ones that are tradable, that actually, of course you can look at everything, but I don't think this looks useless to me. I would only wait for a sell setup, which means let it come back to this top and then look for the sell setup. Let's go. I'll take this off. Any other trade setups? Let's go.
We had a question for INTC, Intel Corporation, 4 hour and daily.
Remember the daily looks, the daily is downside. I think somebody had asked me about this before, and if you had asked me about this, this was your trade. See that? Well, now we're consolidating here. So this should go back up there and then come back here, break the low again. All right, now the question is, do I think this was all the consolidation? Let's look at this, it's interesting. The daily structure is this, right? Now, the only question I have is whether we broke this low. Let me take a look. We didn't, so this is going to go back up and come back down. This is going up. If you get a buy set up here, you can go with it back to the top, but then I think we'll break the low. We have to come and break this low before we start any up move. So in the big picture, if it is going to go back up, see? No, we're coming down still. I think it's pretty clear now. This is going to go back up here, and then this is your trade down to here before you go. I did this for somebody, I don't know when was it, but you can see that nothing changed. Nothing actually changed. You just got a bigger consolidation. So there's a trade back to the top there for you. And then from this point, you definitely don't want to miss that trade. And then you don't want to miss this trade. You can take a snapshot of this and keep it, so it's going to help you. C3AI, what is that, Clint? The tree actually is something else, right? That's supposed to be CZAI or something like that. Can you type it back again? Just AI. Okay, let's see. Artificial intelligence. Oh, this one, the top one, right? Okay, good, I see. Oops, this is it. Well, it's going up back. I'm not sure what it is. We can't really do much analysis with that, but we have a flag here for upside, which is good, right? You have a flag forming here for upside. I think it is going to come back down before it goes. This is the low. That's a very good one. I think this will come back here and then go. I think you figure out that already, right? It's going to come back down and then go. So let's go to the 4 hours. I'll go to the 1 hour even. See? You've got a flat here. Right, 1, 2, 3. Watch the top, break the top or don't break the top. You want it to come back here and then buy here. See, that's a good point to buy. This is a good one, by the way, because even if it's correcting the down move, the drop, it's going to go up some more. Even if you're correcting that downside. So, okay, guys, I think we've been here more than an hour. There's a question on Tesla. I think we have Tesla on the list of thing we looked at. Tesla is here. Tesla is consolidating here. It's going to consolidate here a little more. And then we're going to break the top, but there's a high probability that it's coming back here. Actually, Tesla, we bought it here. And I think the trader who bought it here actually exited. Some of my traders bought it, exited there, because we were expecting it to come back to the top like this. These forecasts was done way before that up start. So we got this sharp move, we got this, we get this, we came down here, we go back up there, we're expecting it to come back here and then go. Pretty easy, right? You'll be surprised how that thing works like magic. So I don't think this is the one that is going to take off. I think this one will come down back more, but you can buy it if you want. And if it doesn't go, you can exit the trade. So you can look for a buy above the top. This will probably come back here some more, then take off. And if this one doesn't actually take off to the top, but come back down, you close the trade for break even. You sell it back to the low, and then you buy it back there. Those are the options. Join us, join the installment program, and you'll get this update every day for you. Twice daily, 3 times daily. Anything else? That's the Chinese currency, 1 hour. I don't think we have that on. Okay, let's look back at trades first, then we're going to come to that because we have too many trades we're not looking at, and we might end up missing the trades we have. Somebody was asking at the Swiss 1 hour. There's a 1 hour flag on the Swiss somewhere. Let me take a look at that. I think somebody was asking about the Swiss 1 hour. That's it. I don't think we have a flag as yet. It's kind of consolidating, but there's no flag, not for the upside, not for the downside. So we'll have to wait on the Swiss. So I'm going to go through back the trades we have. We have the CAD, and that is going really good. I think we can stay with it for a while more. And the pound yen. The pound yen is not going so fast, like I said. Once the pound yen break this low, you have to get it to break even. This would be a trade that is much smaller, right? Because once you break this low, once that break this low, you have to get this to break even. You might even move it into profit, right? Because it's how many pips? It's not a lot, but this is a small trade. And you hope that it dropped quite a lot. So you would be about 20-something pips here. You would put it to break even and see if it actually drops through the bottom. Because there's a high probability that this could just come to this level and go back up there and then drop, right? Because we didn't break that up. And most likely they will break it up. So it could come a little lower like this and then go back up, which would give you a good profit in that trade. So that is one trade. This is at break even. You can't lose on that trade. CAD yen, you could put the break even, but I wouldn't put that to break even yet. I'll wait until we break this low. Because when you break the low, you might give us a little pullback and then go, and I don't want to be taken out and break it. Then we'll put it to break even and then we'll look for the trade to the downside. So it's still too early and it's going pretty good. There's no reason to do anything there. So guys, first I want to thank you all for coming. Remember, what I want you guys to do is this. I want you to go to my YouTube channel, or we can give you the link. Right, so let me see if I can find it. If you go to my YouTube channel, there's a very 30 seconds short video there. Please share it. Please watch it, share it. Actually, it's easier if you do this. Just go search Forex, live Forex trading. Scroll down to where the shorts are. You will find my video there. You may have to search for it a little. Run it, watch it, and share it. You can leave your comment, tell people what you think about these live sessions, and share the link to somebody you know. So tomorrow we should have much more people in the room, right? I hope we can get much more people in the room tomorrow. And we should have a really good session, right? So it's going to be open for all week. Let's hope you guys can bring some more people here and save them from losing their account. Right? The method we use is called wave analysis. You will learn something about it. If you come every day for every day, twice daily for the entire week, you will learn something. And then if you feel this is somewhere you'd like to be, you would like to join our trading group. We have an amazing trading group. One of the best. Literally, it's one of the best trading group out there. There is no second to it. That's a challenge I'm putting out to anyone to find another trading group as good as ours, where we actually take live trades and we actually follow up to it. I know there's a lot of trading group here where people who left and they come to join our group will tell us stories about how they were there and they would write the guru message, hey, I'm in this trade and I need help, and there will be no answer to that. Right? Because the guru himself is figuring out what to do. Well, we have strict rules of how we trade. So thank you all for coming. Have a great day. Trade with care. My traders, you know, to manage these trades. You're already in profit in the 2 trades we take. And there are more trades set up that I think we can see, but the setups are not ready yet. We'll get more trades. Take care, trade with care. See all of you tomorrow morning in the London session and then in the New York session. Please remember to share that video. Let's make that small video viral. It's up to you guys to share it as much as you can. Make sure you get enough likes in it. Share it to your friends. Let them like it. If it goes viral, you know, if it gets a couple thousand things, YouTube will start to promote it to traders, and more people will get access to this sessions that we're doing. Because there's still, I mean, there are millions of traders who have never seen my video. Let's show it to them. Thank you very much for coming. I would see all of you tomorrow. Take care. Bye. So we'll stop the